If there were a gaming equivalent of the iPod, it would most likely be the AYN Thor. It's one small clamshell device that can play nearly every generation of video games, as well as store hundreds of them depending on what you're playing. It certainly isn't the first dual-screen emulation handheld, but according to all the critics, it seems to be the best one overall. And lastly, it has a robust community popping up around it that's supporting it with a ton of software and mods. As someone who owns a lot of consoles and really gets enjoyment out of hacking and modding them, the AYN Thor seems like it'd be the perfect handheld for me. It runs Android 13, so customization is practically limitless. It has a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, which means it can play almost anything you throw at it, and it's all in the form factor of a clamshell dual-screen handheld, so it's super portable. Now, understandably, you may be wondering, why would you want to spend your money on something like this? Well, for me personally, I've always loved the idea of the one console that could just do it all. Ever since I first played Brawl, I've always dreamed of the idea of being able to take it with me anywhere, and that thought's only become more common with other games on other consoles as time has gone on. And while home console games would come to handhelds, it would always usually be a much more compromised, lesser version of the game. Think Sonic Generations on 3DS or Persona 3 Portable. The Switch would seem like the solution to this problem, but the problem with that is that you have to hope for your games to be ported to the console, and more importantly, it's a lot bigger than a 3DS. Then came the AYN Thor. The Thor not only checks all my boxes and the things I want a handheld to be able to emulate, but it surpasses it in being able to play Switch games too, and even some PC games if you tweak it just right. And while I'd love to show you all that running in action, I actually just placed my pre-order today, so that'll be a while. In the meantime, we can check out, Frontends. A frontend is a piece of software that acts like the home menu of your emulation device, and they come in many flavors. Probably the most well-known one is ISU. This frontend is still in early alpha, but according to its presentation video, if it's able to live up to its promises, I think it would be the frontend to install. A frontend is a place to launch games, sure, but it could be so much more. And ISU wants to take advantage of the fact that this is on an Android console by allowing you to browse through your music and media files, showcase indie games on its own shop, and connect with other gamers on the platform, specifically through its planned ISU Network features. The ISU Network is the aspect I'm actually looking forward to most when it comes to this front end, but that specifically is a long ways off from being in any state that comes close to what was shown in the presentation. As I said earlier, this is still in alpha. There's also other front ends like Daijisho and Emulation Station that are more focused on single screen consoles, although I know Emulation Station has a companion app now that adds second screen support. But the main front end I want to talk about, and the one I'm definitely trying first, is Cocoon. Cocoon is the most universal front end that's out right now. It fits so many people's personal needs and styles while also maintaining a cohesive visual look across the entire thing. To start with, the presentation is perfect, because it's basically just an updated version of the 3DS, which is really good for these dual screen emulation consoles. It's got Discord integration right out the box so you can see what all your friends are playing, and I think in a future update they plan to allow you to send messages directly from Cocoon as well. And it's got custom themes with a built-in theme browser so you can customize it the way you want to. Now, this isn't all without some setup, and if this is your first time doing something like this, it could definitely take some time. But if you've ever hacked a 3DS or any other game console before, I think this process you'll find familiar and enjoyable. Me personally, I plan to use the Cocoonix theme and the ISU Dark Icons by GUI Phoenix. Cocoon also allegedly allows use for Wallpaper Engine too, so that's definitely something I want to look into. For those not in the know, Wallpaper Engine is a Steam app that lets you customize your desktop wallpaper with so much more options than basic Windows allows. And if that's still not enough, there's the aforementioned theme browser, SilkPod. It's pretty simple, but the fact that this frontend has a theme browser built in at all, that's very impressive to me. Looking pretty isn't the only thing Cocoon is good for though. It's also got built-in support for retro achievements, a service that adds achievements to older games via emulator support. Knowing Cocoon was going to have support for retro achievements is actually what got me to start using it in the first place, and it's been extremely fun having this extra layer on top of these older games. For example, I recently played through the first 3 Silent Hill games, and those all have support for retro achievements, so each time I progressed past a major event in the game, or killed a certain amount of enemies, or picked up a certain amount of items, etc., I would get an achievement, and it was really fun. A ton more games have achievement sets though, like pretty much any known game console up to the Wii has hundreds of games with an achievement set, so any retro game you've been wanting to play could probably be made better using this. Man, this weight is killing me. I guess while we're waiting, we can talk about the... If I haven't mentioned it already, this device is technically on pre-order still. They state in the official Discord it'll take about 2 months from ordering to actually get the device. And as of writing this part of the video, it's been about a month and 3 weeks, so still got a week left. Now, bringing up that Discord server again, it's actually pretty helpful with tracking when your order will ship. Basically, all you need to know is that the first 4 numbers of your order number are your queue in line, and to not share the last 3. If you go to AYN's official website, they have a shipping dashboard, and if you scroll all the way down, you can see the most recent of which they shipped. Check for your color and model, and see if they've reached your number yet. If they have, that means yours is shipped. But the thing is, the official website is usually outdated. If you go to the Discord, that'll have more up-to-date information on which ones they've actually shipped out that day. Another good aspect about being in the official server is that you'll be the first to know about any new pre-order batches and any changes to the price. I say good aspect, but I don't know if a price change is really a good thing. But me personally, I found out that batch 4 was about to start taking orders in March, and also that the price was going up. Thanks AI. Because I saw this update immediately, I was able to plan around it and save up to get the model I wanted, instead of being met with a nasty 20% markup at checkout or whatever. The model I ordered, the Max, actually had 2 price increases since I ordered it, which is really unfortunate because the original price for it was so good. Now instead it's north of $500. Thankfully, my friend Ellie was willing to help compensate the difference in price by exchanging some art, so shout out to her. Go check out our website. Anyway, my main point in telling you all of this is to illustrate that the shipping and ordering experience isn't that straightforward. It's understandable since AYN is a small Chinese company and they're in a niche, but doesn't make it any less annoying. Oh, let me just check this, hang on. Oh shit, it's here! It's finally here. Oh my god. Well, I guess there's no other thing to do than to rip into this. There we go. Put that to the side. I believe this is the charger. Well, cable, technically. It doesn't have a brick. Yeah. C2C cable. I'll use that to transfer my ROMs. And oh my god, this is heavier than I thought it'd be. Oh my god. It's finally in my hands, dude. Holy shit. Oh my god. This feels great. Holy shit. I'm saying the same thing over and over. Okay, let me make sure it turns on. Okay, I felt it vibrate. Hello? There it is. Okay, had me worried because I've seen some reports of top screens not working, so I almost, you know, it's only on the intro loading screen right now, but these screens are insane. Holy shit. Okay, let me go through the setup real quick. Okay, I gotta connect to my Wi-Fi. Alright, we are connected to Wi-Fi. Gotta set my time zone. Oh my god, there we go. We're in the Thor menu. These screens are so good. Oh my god. Okay. Now, before I go any further, I'm gonna turn the device back off and I'm going to install the buttons I got. I'm sure a lot of you have been wondering, why the hell does his Thor have PlayStation buttons in the thumbnail? Well, that's because I bought some PlayStation buttons off Etsy, and they are right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that first before setting up the actual Thor, so. Alright. I had to do all that off camera because it was giving me a lot more trouble than I thought it would. This is no iPod in terms of modding, but look at that. PlayStation buttons. I don't know if you can see it. PlayStation buttons. Alright, so I'm gonna go get this set up, and I will come back with my thoughts and everything else. So, until then. Alright, so I've had some time with this, and I've gotta say, I don't think I'll need another console ever again. I knew going in that this thing was powerful, but none of the videos I watched really played the games that I was planning on playing. Well, I'm happy to report that most of everything I want to play can be played on here. So I want to go over the games that I've been playing and just some other things I've noticed about the device. So without further ado... So first, setup. The setup process took a whole 2 days. And I'm not new to emulation or anything. I've been emulating games since I was a small child watching Mario 64 bloopers. But all that setup was well worth it, because now I have the game console of my dreams. Let me go ahead and give you a quick tour, huh? First, of course, I've got Cocoon set up with the Cocoon X Heroes and Isu Dark Icons by Giyu Phoenix. And personally, I think it looks fantastic, especially with the OLED panels that just blend into the device. I think it looks really futuristic. As for the device itself, it feels alright. It has this really substantial weight to it, like a brick. Compared to a new 3DS XL, it's almost the same weight and size, though it's a little heavier, a little shorter, and a little taller. For me, that's a good size, because any bigger it wouldn't have been as portable, and any smaller it wouldn't have been as powerful. The controls are, for the most part, good. The left stick is in a good spot. I want to interject here really quick and talk about how my thumbstick's ribbon cable broke, and AYN were gracious enough to not only send me a replacement stick, but also the board that the stick connects to as well, which they did not have to do. They were relatively quick with responding to my emails as well, so I just wanted to put this in here so people get the impression that they're pretty good when it comes to customer service, at least in my experience. But the right stick is pretty hard to reach, especially when using the triggers. I've heard people voice their woes over playing twin stick games with this layout, and while I originally thought it was overblown, now I understand where they were coming from. Simply reaching for the right trigger while your thumb is on the right stick is physically difficult, but hey, you can still do it if you try. The D-pad is great. It's got the same tactile clickiness like a PS Vita D-pad. The start and select buttons are in a good spot too, because you don't gotta stretch your thumbs all the way down to hit it. I will say, however, the face buttons have a lot of travel, and it can wear out your thumbs after a while. I'm not sure if this is because I replaced them with my PlayStation buttons, but I wouldn't imagine so since I didn't do anything to the rubber membrane. But anyway, going back to my setup, you can see I've got 18 different platforms to pick from. Like I said, iPod of gaming. Whole different generations. If we go into one of these folders, you can see all the games I have for that platform. I tried to limit myself to games I actually want to play, which is mainly stuff on my backlog, but as you can see, it's still quite the amount. Now, as for the games I've been playing quite a few. Of course, there's Brawl Subspace Emissary. Now, Brawl doesn't need an introduction, right? I question myself because the game's 18 years old now. Jesus. Anyway, it's of my opinion that Brawl has the best single-player content out of all the Smash games, mainly due to it having a real story mode. It's just fun seeing all these characters from different franchises interact. Like, this is the only game where Snake and Lucario get to meet each other. There's also the other aspects of old Smash, like trophies, events, masterpieces, just a lot of game modes and extras that fit the pick-up-and-play nature of the Thor. I've also been playing a lot of Sonic games, specifically Unleashed and The Black Knight. I know Unleashed isn't necessarily a fan favorite when it comes to the Werehog stages, and I don't blame anyone. I can tolerate the Werehog stages, but I know that's not most people. Although I do feel like the hate is a little overblown sometimes. Don't get me wrong, I completely understand why people dislike the Werehog stages, but I don't know, they've kind of grown on me. Again, I completely understand why people don't like these. They don't want God of War in their Sonic game. But me personally, I kind of like beating up enemies, unlocking new moves, you know, getting stronger. It doesn't really fit Sonic, but, you know, if it's this or Knuckles stages, I'm picking this, okay? Now, talking about the other Sonic game I've been playing, Black Knight is fucking badass! Right up front, I have a lot of affinity for this game because I played it as a kid, so keep that in mind. With that being said, it feels so good coming back to this game 17 years later and having it be as good as I remembered. The sauce, man, this game has so much of it! Sonic with a sword is cool! I like the characters that are original to this game. Merlina is cool! The final boss is so fucking cool! Now, I don't know if this is because I was playing with button controls or if it was always like this, but the moment-to-moment swordplay doesn't flow as well as it could have. There's moments where it'll all work well and smooth, but most of the time it can be pretty clunky. But I'm an Unleashed apologist, so it shouldn't be surprising that I put up with it. Anyway, besides that, mwah. Guys, I love this game. If you've never played it, I highly suggest you do, at least if you have the tolerance for some bullshit. Of course, I've also been playing a lot of DS games. This is a dual-screen console after all. Super Princess Peach being one of them. This game is pretty alright. I believe it's developed by the same studio that made Starfy, which I also want to try out. Weird innuendos and possible sexism aside, having to activate different emotions to get through a stage is pretty fun. It almost feels like a puzzle game at times, requiring you to figure out how to use your abilities to reach the goal. I know Peach got another game on the Switch, and it probably does a better job at portraying her, but that game seems to switch playstyles depending on the level and is intended for a much younger audience. I've also been playing a lot of New Soup and Soup 64 DS. These two games were probably my most played DS games as a kid. They're just plain simple fun. I actually forgot how much extra content they added in 64 DS, like, the stages made to unlock the other characters, they feel so weird, especially the Luigi one, it just, I don't know. It feels like a ROM hack. Of course, I must echo what everyone else said about this game. Why did they think controlling it with the D-pad would be a good idea? So many deaths caused by just not having 360-degree movement. And don't tell me to use the touchscreen to move, because you didn't use the touchscreen to move, now did you? Yeah, that's what I thought. So that's about all the games I've been playing so far, at least that I want to talk about, otherwise we'd be here all day. But yeah, I've been playing this thing since I got it, and I kinda want to finish this video quickly so I can get back to playing it. It goes without saying that I love the Thor. It's made it so much easier to chip away at my backlog and try out retro games that I didn't before. It makes me wonder how they'll even improve on this, like what are they gonna do for the Thor 2? This one is already perfect. Anyway, if you've got a Thor, what do you like about it? Or if you don't have one, what's stopping you? And please, a moment of silence for everyone waiting shipment. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching.